Not every Marvel character was a success. Some backfired the moment they appeared, introduced with hype, pushed as the next big thing, and rejected almost instantly. Fans criticized the writing, sales dropped, and Marvel quietly pulled them back before the damage spread further. These weren't slow failures. They were immediate misfires that showed how quickly even Marvel can get it wrong. So, which characters crashed the second they debuted? And what went so wrong? Here are 10 Marvel characters that backfired instantly. At number 10 is Snowflake. Marvel introduced Snowflake in March 2020 as part of a New Warriors relaunch connected to the Outlawed crossover. Snowflake was described as a cryokinetic psychic twin and promoted as Marvel's first non-binary superhero, using they and them pronouns. Marvel pushed the character aggressively, releasing a polished promotional article, detailed character bios, power breakdowns, cover teases, and a teaser trailer before a single issue was published. Snowflake was positioned as a central team member and a guiding presence for younger heroes tied to a major event. The backlash was immediate. As soon as the name and concept were revealed, criticism flooded social media. Many readers focused on the name Snowflake and viewed it as insensitive, especially given the character's identity. The reveal quickly became a viral controversy, overshadowing the story before it could begin. By mid-2020, Marvel canceled the New Warriors series outright. The comic was never released, digital listings disappeared, and promotion stopped without explanation. Snowflake was quietly shelved permanently. At number 9 is Safe Space. Marvel introduced Safe Space in 2020 alongside Snowflake as part of a New Warriors relaunch tied to the Outlawed crossover. Safe Space was described as a force field generating hero whose powers only work to protect others. Marvel pushed the character hard, releasing official artwork, a promotional trailer, and full character profiles explaining the twins' connection to modern culture. Safe Space was positioned as a core member of a new young hero team before a single comic issue existed. The backlash was instant. As soon as the name Safe Space was revealed, criticism spread across social media. Readers mocked the name, called it tone-deaf, and questioned whether the character was meant to be taken seriously. Discussion focused entirely on the concept, not the story, and negative reactions dominated coverage. Marvel responded by pulling the plug. Before New Warriors #1 was published, the entire series was canceled. Safe Space disappeared from solicitations, marketing stopped, and the character was quietly removed from continuity. Years later, Safe Space appeared briefly. At number 8 is Princess Matawaka. Marvel introduced Princess Matawaka in 2022 in King Conan issue 3 as a major new character. She was portrayed as a tribal princess with mystical influence over colonists and was placed directly on the cover and in key story scenes. Marvel immediately treated her as important, depicting her as the daughter of a chieftain and a future leader tied closely to Conan's storyline. She returned prominently in the next issue, confirming plans for an ongoing role. The backlash was immediate. Readers reacted strongly online, criticizing the use of the name Matawaka, which is Pocahontas' real name, and the portrayal of the character as a disrespectful caricature. Readers and commentators described the design as a major historical oversight. The controversy spread rapidly and overshadowed the series itself. Marvel pulled back almost at once. The publisher announced the character would be renamed and redesigned, then quietly removed her from the story. After only 2 appearances, Princess Matawaka disappeared entirely immediately. It gets messier. Next up are massive PR nightmares, including a fake hero and a shameless corporate cash grab that fans rejected instantly. At number 7 is Riri Williams, also known as Ironheart. Marvel introduced Riri Williams in 2016 in Invincible Iron Man as a teenage MIT prodigy who reverse-engineered advanced armor and stepped into the world of superheroes. Marvel supported her heavily from the beginning, aligning her with Tony Stark, placing her in major storylines, and launching a solo series that positioned her as a next-generation successor. The backlash formed almost immediately. Some longtime readers resisted the legacy transition and criticized how quickly she was elevated to interact with top-tier heroes and events. Debate spread across message boards and social media, with much of the conversation centered on her rapid promotion rather than her character development. Marvel later scaled back the push. Her solo series ended after 14 issues, and she shifted largely into supporting appearances. The pattern resurfaced in 2025 when the Ironheart faced dislike campaigns and review bombing shortly after release, reinforcing how quickly audience rejection can shape a character's trajectory and stall momentum. At number 6 is Sabra, also known as Ruth Bat Seraph. Sabra debuted in the Incredible Hulk issue 250 in 1980, with a backstory deeply tied to real-world geopolitics. For decades, she remained relatively obscure until Marvel Studios announced her inclusion in Captain America: Brave New World. The announcement immediately placed her at the center of attention, with the studio signaling a reimagined version for modern audiences and positioning her as a significant presence in an anticipated film. The reaction was swift and intense. Critics argued that the character's origins carried heavy political baggage that many felt was inappropriate for a blockbuster. Social media campaigns gained traction within hours, and controversy overshadowed the casting before production updates could shift the narrative. Marvel quickly adjusted course. The studio modified her background, softened identifying elements, and avoided emphasizing the Sabra identity in early publicity. Though she remained part of the film, the rapid changes reflected an unmistakable retreat, marking Sabra as a character whose elevation triggered immediate resistance. At number 5 is Voyager, also known as Valerie Vector. Marvel introduced Voyager in 2018 during Avengers: No Surrender as a forgotten founding member who returned to save the team. She was placed alongside iconic heroes and portrayed as vital to stopping a global threat. Flashbacks quickly inserted her into major moments of Avengers history, presenting her as someone who had always been there. Within a few issues, Marvel elevated her from a complete unknown to a supposed legacy hero, expecting readers to accept her rewritten place in the team's past. The rejection followed just as fast, when the story revealed that her history was a fabrication and she had been secretly planted to manipulate the team. Many readers felt deceived. Fan discussions focused on the abrupt retcon and the sense that decades of continuity were altered overnight. Her rise ended immediately afterward. Voyager exposed her true identity, departed Earth, and fell into obscurity after a brief sequel, leaving behind a debut that unraveled as soon as it began. At number 4 is the NGENS. Marvel introduced the NGENS team in 2017 as part of a planned Avengers partnership with defense contractor Northrop Grumman. They were described as corporate superheroes connected to a military technology division supporting the team. Promotional artwork showed them suited alongside Earth's mightiest heroes, and the project was marketed through convention materials and press coverage. The rollout made it clear that Marvel intended the team to exist within official continuity despite the corporate sponsorship behind the story. The backlash arrived almost immediately after the announcement. Fans and news outlets criticized the partnership, arguing that linking superheroes with a real-world defense contractor was inappropriate. Online discussions spread rapidly, with many readers stating the collaboration damaged Marvel's image and blurred the line between storytelling and advertising. Marvel reacted within days. The company canceled the crossover, confirmed the project would not move forward, and shelved the comic entirely. The NGENS never appeared in a published issue, becoming characters erased before their story even began. The top 3 are the ultimate failures. Marvel tried to erase iconic heroes and force these replacements on us, but the backlash was instant. At number 3 is Triathlon, also known as Delroy Garrett and 3D Man. Marvel introduced Delroy Garrett to the Avengers during the Heroes Return era, placing him directly on the roster in Avengers Volume 3. Operating as Triathlon, he was positioned as a major new team member, received cover presence, and played a central role in the book's first year. Marvel made the push unmistakable by giving him significant action moments and briefly tying him to cosmic-level power, signaling that he was meant to matter immediately. The response was cold from the start. Many readers questioned why a brand new hero had been inserted into one of Marvel's most recognizable teams without build-up. Online reactions described him as unnecessary, and backlash surfaced quickly across fan spaces. Marvel shifted direction almost as fast. By issue 5, Garrett had already exited the team, and the Triathlon identity faded. The mantle returned to 3D Man, while Garrett slipped into sporadic appearances. The rapid removal reflected how quickly the experiment collapsed after launch. At number 2 is Adam X, also known as Adam Naramani. Adam X debuted in 1993 in X-Force Annual Issue 2 and was promoted as a dangerous new mutant called X-Treme. Marvel pushed him hard from the beginning. placing him on the cover, giving him a full pinup, and writing scenes where he easily overpowered the members of X-Force. Writer Fabian Nicieza positioned him as a possible Lost Summer's brother tied to Cyclops and Havoc, presenting the reveal as something that could reshape mutant lineage. The resistance surfaced almost immediately. Many readers saw the storyline as a forced retroactive twist and criticized the character as a gimmick built more on shock than substance. Fan reaction cooled quickly, and the mystery surrounding his origin failed to generate lasting interest. Marvel quietly stepped back within months. The Summers brother angle was abandoned. Adam X faded after only a few appearances, and the mystery remained unsolved for decades, leaving his explosive debut to collapse almost instantly. At number 1 is Arno Stark. Arno Stark debuted in 2013 in Iron Man issue 9 as the secret genetic twin of Tony Stark, reshaping Iron Man's history. Marvel embedded him deeply into Tony's life, presenting him as a technological prodigy who co-led Stark Unlimited and researched advanced armor. His importance expanded quickly as he assisted major heroes and constructed the powerful Model 66 armor. Within a few years, he was elevated from hidden sibling to armored successor, ultimately taking the Iron Man mantle during the Iron Man 2020 storyline. Reader enthusiasm never fully formed. Many longtime fans questioned the sudden twin reveal and saw it as an artificial twist that diluted Tony's legacy. Conversations often reflected indifference or frustration toward another replacement narrative rather than anticipation. Marvel closed the arc just as fast. Believing the world was ending, Arno descended into delusion before Tony defeated him and placed him inside a controlled virtual reality. Afterward, Arno disappeared, and the spotlight returned entirely to Tony. Which of these Marvel characters flopped the hardest? Let us know in the comments, and press the subscribe button and bell icon for more updates.